Kill me! I'm here! Kill me!
Hey everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Moana, the 2016 Oscar-nominated Disney animated movie. Now, I thought this movie was really, really great. A lot of people made such a huge deal about Frozen, and there are parts of Frozen that I actually absolutely think are great, and I have the utmost respect for. I like the fact that there are, some admirable moments from the two main girls, but overall, and like the Let It Go was the most catchy song ever, but overall I didn't really get why there was so many adults who seemed to enjoy that movie so much. I understood like kids getting it, but the adult fandom for that movie kind of just went right over my head. Whereas this movie I thought was absolutely great. I thought there was the animation first and foremost was mind-bogglingly good. I mean, they've really perfected how to animate water and oceans, and this movie took full advantage of that. This is definitely a return to the days of yore in the Disney canon, where they had some pretty scary moments because there is a like big fire demon creature thing that is right near the beginning of the movie that is pretty freaking freaky. And I did watch it with my daughter in the room, and she ran to me to get a cuddle while that was going on. The rest of the movie she was perfectly great with, and there was lots of stuff that she absolutely loved and laughed at and pointed at. Like there was like a pig character that she thought was hilarious, and a chicken that she thought was hilarious, and those are the two main sidekicks, and they were both really really great. And I thought that they were funny. And this movie has a lot of really really funny moments. The movie in Disney's past that I personally would compare it most to is Aladdin, where there is a lot of adult humor. Like, and I don't mean like obviously like they're not making inappropriate jokes or whatever, but there's jokes that adults would get that maybe the kids wouldn't as much, or at least wouldn't play into as much with them. Whereas then there's it's definitely got a kind of like a classic feel to it. Like there's a moment where they refer to Moana as a princess, and it was a very funny line and worked perfectly within the film. The moral of the story is great, where she has to kind of, and same with the secondary character, which is Maui, who was voiced by The Rock, and it's the major thing that the two of them have to kind of grapple with is learning to believe in themselves, and that's definitely a great message for kids to get, as long as obviously that you don't want kids to become egotistical or anything like that, but becoming aware of what you're capable of is definitely something that's great. There's a lot of spiritual moments in it that this isn't like a religious movie by any stretch of the imagination, but there's spiritualism to it that is all very well done. There's lots of affecting characters. Now my one nitpick, and I wouldn't even say nitpick, my one flaw in this movie is I will say that the character design in the beginning of the movie isn't great, and by that I mean there's definitely moments where it's kind of hard to tell certain characters apart from one another. Like Moana's mother looks an awful lot like Moana, and that's all fine and dandy. There's definitely kids and parents that do end up looking a lot alike, but there isn't anything distinctive enough between them that it's easy to get confused slightly. I mean, they obviously the things they're doing you're going to pick up very very quickly at who they are, but it would have been better if there was a little bit more of a distinction between the two, which I don't think that there are. And the same thing goes with the men in this movie at the beginning. Like most of the girls are these like little tiny women, and then there's these big hulking dudes, and that's a little bit disappointing. It would have been nicer to see a little bit more variety in body types, and but other than that, that's really the only thing in the movie that I could call out as being bad. The music in this movie is great. I mean, there's not anything on the level of Let It Go. No matter how much that song may annoy some parents because they've had to hear it over and over and over again, there's a reason why they've had to hear it over and over again, because it really was a expertly recorded song that really definitely got stuck in your ear after listening to it a couple of times. And there's nothing like that here. There are definitely some very, very catchy songs that will, and there's one in particular that gets played pretty close to the beginning and pretty close to the end. It's all about Moana becoming confident in her abilities, and that song, I thought that song was great. There's definitely lots and lots of extremely funny moments, as I mentioned earlier. The Rock's his voiceover performance is phenomenal. He creates he voices a character that becomes that it's far from like the he's a bit of the reluctant hero, but he's also his entire character motivation is that he wants to be a hero. So the way that kind of plays out is really interesting. The mythological bent to it is really great because like they touch on one of the things I've always loved a lot in some of the old mythological tales is the where they a lot of it's in like the Greek myths and all that kind of stuff where they have these explanations for why things are like why one of the major things in this movie is why the islands that the various people in the movie live on, how they come to be, and all that kind of thing. So it was really, really cool for me as somebody who enjoys those classic myths to see those. There's a crab character that's voiced by Jermaine or however you pronounce it from Flight of the Conchords, and he's very entertaining as well. There's the Moana has a grandmother, and she is a real spitfire and really entertaining, and has a lot of really great moments and great lines. And yeah, overall, I thought this movie was very, very well done. I really want to get it on Blu-ray to be able to show my daughter again once she gets a little bit older. And I highly, highly suggest it, especially if you're a fan of the Disney style of movies, because like I said before, this is definitely a kind of return to the older style of Disney movies as far as the story is because there definitely is some pretty scary moments. So be prepared for that if you're a parent and going to play it for your kids. But those moments are very short-lived, and they definitely overcome any of that. For me at least, and for my daughter was happy as a clam by the end of the movie. So I mean, no, she's just over 2, so yeah, her memory is not exactly miles long by any stretch of the imagination. But if she can handle it, I'm pretty sure your kids can too. So those are my thoughts on Moana. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen the movie, what you thought of it. And what you thought of Frozen too, because I touched on that earlier in the movie. If you think I'm crazy for thinking that it's an overrated film, please hit that like button. It does awesome things for my channel. It gets it in front of people that otherwise wouldn't. Hit subscribe. I love talking to you guys about these movies, and the more people that are here to talk to, the more people I get to talk to. I mean, that seems pretty self-evident, I suppose, but it's the truth. I love talking to you guys, and if you're new to this channel, it mean the world to me if you hit the subscribe button. And even if you've been on the channel for a while and you haven't hit the bell button, which is the notifications button, if you'd be kind enough to do that, that'd be amazing, and I'd really, really appreciate it. And other than that, have yourself a nice day.